Okay, so we shall begin with a word of prayer. Okay, dear God, we thank you for this morning. You just bless us as we see here after the end of a long week. Maybe for some of us, we still have 2 more days of a long week. I just pray, Lord, that in this morning we just grant our hearts, Lord, to see each other, open up our sleepy eyes for some, to also witness this great Saturday morning you have created. May you just be with us, Lord, as we talk about this topic of friendship, Lord, and through it also help us build the friendships we have with one another. May you just bless us, and in your most mighty name we pray. Amen. Okay, so hi guys, today we are doing this topic on friendship. So the one who will be sharing is me and Genevieve there at the back. Later she will introduce ourselves a little bit more. But today we're going to do this topic of friendly fire. Okay, so this is a completely irrelevant context for what we're doing today. But if you all know what is this meme, then great. If you don't know, it's fine. If you're curious, basically this is a Counter-Strike meme. In the days when we go to the LAN shop, we will play Counter-Strike in the 1.6 version, and then we will have this mode called friendly fire. Okay, so if you turn on friendly fire, you basically will shoot your friend by accident and kill them if you actually shoot at them. So sometimes some stupid people will suddenly on it just for fun, and then we want to be sure that we are not killing one another. We will shoot each other to check whether we are going to kill each other by accident or not. So that's how this meme came to be. Hey, but it's a completely irrelevant context for those who are unaware. Sorry, for unaware. Okay. Okay, so today the topic of friendship, right? We're going to do it like I think it's important for us to discuss about friendship in the young grad kind of context, okay? Because like friends do a lot in our life, okay? So they fan into flame our passion for God, lah. Okay, so you can see Hebrews 10, 1924. Okay, it's a long verse. It's the one that therefore my friends, and then there's a so the writer addresses his audience as friends, okay? So after he blah blah, said let us consider how to provoke one another to love and good deeds. Okay, so the word provoke is a pretty strong word lah. Another word they in some other translation they call it stir up one another to love and good deeds. So stir, stir is like when you have two friends and then they are like kind of get closer, then someone will go there and go and stir them up, you know what I mean? So that kind of stir is not it's not mild, there's someone out there intentionally go and stir. I don't want to use the S word, okay, go and stir the thing and then make things happen. Okay, so the word, so provoke and stir is something that is a strong word that we do to our friends, okay, and what we do that too is towards love and good deeds, okay. So you're fanning to the flame of passion in our friend's heart, okay. Proverbs 27 also, oil and perfume makes the heart glad, and the sweetness of a friend comes from his earnest counsel. Okay, again, they also come to you sincerely, wanting to help you in your issues, in your life, in your relationship with God, okay. So they also fan to flame good things into your life. Okay. So the thing is, of course, they are not the only people who fan flames to our heart. Okay, a lot of people can also encourage us, can also discipline us, rebuke us. But okay, friends have a special way of doing it in a way that you just can say, okay, if Keith tells me, hey Sean, your breath stinks, I'll be like, oh, okay. But if a random stranger come and say that to me, or like my boss or something, it will feel very different, So I think, okay, but that's just the random example. But there are more things more important. Like, hey, Sean, I think you are like being jealous, or you are being a conflict stirrer, or something. Then I'll be like, huh? Really? Tell me more, But if some random fella tell me, then I'll just say, you go away. Okay, so friends is special, okay? We give them a special place in our hearts to say stuff to us, okay? However, there's a different kind of flame that occurs between friends, okay? So in Proverbs 27:6, faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy, okay? The important thing is that the friends do wound us, right? That's why Proverbs say that they do hurt us in some way, whether for good or bad, okay? Here it's saying that usually it's for good, but I'm sure you have been wounded badly by a friend for strange reasons. Okay, brothers and sisters also, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Yes, friends also sharpen us, but that sharpening is not painless lah. It's not frictionless lah. In fact, it uses the friction to sharpen you lah. Okay, so again, the friendship can also result in this kind of like frictions. Okay, and then Ephesians 4:31, it says, get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. The fact that this needs to be said, as it is in the context of the church, right? The fact that it needs to be said also means that actually with friends, it's not all nice and good. While we are sincere and genuine, we are also secretly kind of like jealous, comparing, or judging, or bitching, or complaining, or get upset, or whatever. Okay, so there's also some darkness that comes with friendship that exists, and we have to acknowledge that. Okay, so that's why, especially I think when we are in this context of fresh grad, you tend to do more comparison. Okay, compare your pay, compare your marital status, compare your rate of promotion, compare blah 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 blah. Like even for me, one thing like okay, some of you know I have some bad problems, health problems. So I also the man. Yo, my friend all can do this, I cannot. Right. So when they say, hey, no, let's go and do some sporty event together, they'll be like, okay, you guys go ahead. Or say, hey, let's go traveling. Okay, you guys go ahead. Because I can't do it, and then I get upset. Yeah, so this kind of thing lah. So we have to be aware that while friends are benefit to our current life station and forevermore, they also on this side of earth, the friendship can go south also, or have some darkness also. Okay, so now I'm gonna that's a very kind of context of why we are talking about friendship now. So now we are going to share a little bit about me and Jen. Me and Jen are going to share a little bit about ourselves, and then we're gonna talk to the stories of how kind of type of friendships in our life. Okay, and the details of it. Okay, so I will start. Okay, so okay, I think most of you know me, and you know I'm a crazy guy. And a noisy guy. So, but you may not know about how I view friendship now. Okay, I hope you think that I think good things about friendship, and you are right. But just more details. Okay, so first thing is I think people are interesting and colorful. Okay, so that means that I'm curious about people. I like to know what you do. I like to know what you like to eat. I like to know what mobile legend hero you like to use if you play. Okay, I just like to know what happens in human beings' life. Okay, however, I'm actually very squeamish with conflicts and arguments. So when someone like not happy with me, right? Or like I feel like things are awkward between me and somebody, right? I get very squeamish. So every time I watch those like those Channel 8 drama or Channel 5 drama on Netflix, right? And then there's like all those misunderstanding thing, right? I'll be like, ugh. Then I just want to quickly fast forward and not watch it. Okay. It's quite odd because last time there's no such thing as fast forward. Okay, so I also the kind of people who prefers group meetings to like individual assignment. So I like to go for project meetings. I like to go and discuss stuff and then talk a lot of rubbish and then dedicate work to other people. Okay, I don't really actually like individual work because I tend to procrastinate way too much. It's very boring. Okay, lastly, I'm pretty literal and forthright. So actually, like if I say somebody, I think somebody is, if my friend is doing something stupid, I will go and say, and that doesn't always end up well. Okay, so there's one stupid story about I was playing Mobile Legends with a friend. Okay, so a lot of Mobile Legends because I play Mobile Legends every day. Okay, but never mind. I was playing a game with a friend. Okay, that's all you need to know. And then he did something that I felt like, hey, why you do that? So I go and type in the chat because he's calling his girlfriend, so he cannot voice chat. So I just type, why do you not do this? Right? And then he's like, because of this. Then I said, okay, but I still think you should do it. So that's the end of it. Then I said, okay, well, never mind. So after the end of the game, so another friend who was in the same game, who's much older than me, said, hey, Sean, I said, what? And so this is a stranger. Both of them, all these are strangers. We only know each other's voices. Okay? Hey, you should have done that. I said, why? Because the way you say it, you sound like you are like scolding him. I said, huh? I'm just asking a question. Why do you do this? Why have you not go and bathe? Why have you not brushed your teeth? Is that not a question? Yes, that's a question, but you are also like kind of like accusing him. And I was like, huh? Really? Walao, then I just go and complain. Walao, like that also, blah, 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 blah. And then after I got fed up with like this guy telling me, I just go to our group chat and say, hey bro, just now when I asked you a question, I was literally just asking you a question. I was not accusing you. Then he's like, oh, RIP, sorry, I took it the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, Wow, shit. Actually, that's quite common in my life. So it's very irritating. Okay, so after a while, I just try to say nothing, but eventually it always comes out again and again. So whatever. Okay, so Jen, now Jen's turn. Okay, so I'm this kind of human being. Jen will share a little bit of herself. Okay, but by the way, this is my job. Okay, so I make a lot of slides and all this. Okay, but most of our speakers, they are full working adult. Okay, so when they come here to share their time, they actually come here with after a very long week of heavy work lah. So let's give her applause. If you are tired, of course, after a long week of work, you can sit down, and I shall sit with you. Thank you. But the mic is with me. I should. I will come closer to you, and I will also be your people. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
I'll hold for you.
Okay. Hi. Good morning. My name is Genevieve. Maybe just to introduce myself before we dive into this. I used to be from DCF. We served in the same exco back in the day. I'm now I've been working for quite a few years now, working for in the real estate industry, working for a property developer, doing leasing as well as asset management. So yeah, maybe to share about what friendships mean to me. For me in particular, I've had a lot of very long-term friends. So I'm the kind of person who will have friends from like primary school, secondary school, and I will keep at it all the way until this day. So in terms of those like more time or seasonal friends, like especially those kind of people who love to focus on friends who are within that season of life. That's really not so much of me. So I always place a lot of priority on like those that have really withstood the stand of time all the way until where I'm at now. However, I am quite a relational person, and those friendships really mean quite a lot to me. And those friendships are the ones that have seen me grow over the years, and that's something that I really cherish and value. That doesn't mean to say that I don't value friends that I meet along the way. I think those are things I'm still very open to. However, I will always have a certain level of like a certain like barrier, I suppose, like that I will I guess wait to see how they I guess
develop.
Yeah, develop over certain time or certain situations and experiences. Yeah. So I have a very strong core, and then the rest are like strong core, and then the rest are like a little bit more at a distance. Yeah. I think that's about.
So I guess your friendship level is like the government civil service promotion. So seniority then get promoted.
Oh, with time
so you
then you get promoted.
Long service term award, then you were promoted.
I guess you can say that, yeah.
Okay, so we will begin with the stories now. Okay, so just now I was like, feel like I was proposing to you and I was never gonna get a yes.
Did you want me to hold the mic?
No, no, it's just like it's just very funny, but it's okay. No worries, no worries. I'm not proposing. Okay, so I will begin with my own story. I have a friend from school. Okay, his name is, just call him Z lah. Okay, Z. And he's a very tall, lanky man, like very skinny. Okay, like he is literally like this shape. Okay, but he got hair lah. But he's very tall and very lanky. Okay, he's the kind that the hand as long as the legs kind. Okay, so he's from my friend from secondary school and JC. I was in IP lah, so it was the same lah, secondary and JC. Okay, so we were in the same CCA in basketball, and we live near each other. Okay, he lived in this place called McNair Road. If you don't know, you don't need to know. Okay, and then we were quite naughty. Okay, we were considered the bullies in school. Okay, so if you want to know what is a bully, right? It's like one day there was this guy we didn't like, okay, because he did something. Okay, and so me and this guy, we wanted to teach him a lesson. But then we are just poor secondary school kids, right? We had no power. So he was in different class. So during my class, when I went to go for PE class, I'll tell him my class PE starts at XX time. And he said, okay, operation commence. So he will go to my class, which is unlocked, take his water bottle, and then bring it to the toilet. And then does horrible things with it, and then return it to the back. And then come back from PE, after PE or recess, and then come back from recess, we are all hot and thirsty, right? And then he would drink from his water bottle. And then I will watch from the side and then giggle out loud. Okay? Or sometimes one time he made a comment, said he drank and then he told his friend, he told his deskmate, hey, 我的水有点怪怪的. Wow. That one, I say, teacher, I didn't go to toilet. Then I go to the toilet and then just laugh out loud. Okay, so that's an example. Okay, I was not going to other details about what we have done, but that's an example. It's a great friend. Okay, so okay, he's a lawyer friend who looked out for me now. Okay, I'll share with you a quick story after that. And one of the few people I shared my inner world with lah. Okay, cause that time okay, I was a bit awkward lah. Okay, sorry. Cause that time when I was a secondary school kid, right? Cause I didn't basically siblings not around, parents not around, so you undergo puberty, you kind of like and then undergo a new like kind of school environment. Then you're just like figuring things out lah. So, but you don't really know like how things should be. So there's a lot of like stuff in my head. So I was kind of like not a very popular kid. I was like the antisocial kid. Okay, so he was one of the few friends I have. And then so thankfully, for some reason he thinks a lot ahead lah. So he's a little bit more like street savvy and EQ better than me lah. So because of that, I could share a lot of stuff with him. But because I was the one who does most of the sharing, it was because awkward lah. So there's some kind of inferiority complex, like, wow, this guy knows all his stuff, but I don't know anything. Okay, and then he was a much better basketball player than me also lah. And then he got a lot of cool friends. I mean, when you're secondary school, having cool friends is a big deal, right? You have no cool friend, then probably means you're not very cool lah. Okay, so if you have cool friend, then you're like, yeah, you know, a little bit more ahead. So I mean, a lawyer friend who looked out for me, right? He's like, okay, this I found out later on in life lah. Okay, around like Sec JC that time. So anyway, when during Sec 3, okay, he told me that, Sean, you know, you go and say something stupid about a senior. I said, yes, that. I said, yeah, I remember saying something stupid about a senior. Something that I realized I should not have said, but I did. And I told a lot of people about it. So the senior found out about it. And then he actually wanted to go and beat me, you know. So one day, he was waiting at the school gate for me to beat me, you know, like when I go home. Then he went there the whole day, you know. So my this friend, because he know all the cool people, right? So he's aware of it, right? So that day, right, he said, when we were going home, because we live near each other, I said, hey, let's go by the back gate. He said, why? Just front gate nearer, ma. Oh, no lah, just today. Then he cooked up some story about wanting to go and buy bubble tea on the way home or whatever. They said, okay, then we go by back gate. And then we siam the bully. So of course the bully realized that didn't work. Maybe then after he just whatever lah, wait the whole day, nothing happened, then just forget it. So I was not beaten up. So I never knew until like 3 years after that incident happened. Then I said, oh, you know, say, hey, why you don't just tell me? He said, because he also kind of have some friendship with the bully, so he cannot say anything because it will be like you know, difficult. So I think this is also an example. Once I found out that, wow, you know, like I mean, I guess it's quite nice of you lah, right? Like to be aware of that and then help me out in that manner. Yeah, so that was who he is. And because I met him in like Sec 1, Sec 2, okay, and I only met Christ in J1, J2. So he was actually a friend who knew me before I knew Christ lah. And I think in my whole adolescent years, I think it's one of the most wholesome friendship that I have, like in the sense that like someone who was a true brother, true friend lah, okay, in many ways. Emotionally, then we hang out do a lot of things together and all this. Yeah, so this very special friend from my childhood, you know, secondary school, and one of the few friends that like I still want to hang out with lah. Cause sometimes, you know, you go secondary school, JC, then if you're not the kind who keep your friends, it's very easy to just leave them back. Especially guys, you go army, then just okay lor, whatever lor. Maybe girls, there's a bit more continuation in uni, but guys sometimes you just go your own paths after army. Okay, so Okay, so now that I am at this age, like 30 years old, after graduation, after working and everything, and then realizing the realities of relationships after working for a few years. So there's a few conclusions I made. Okay, so there are things I'm glad I did. Okay, so one of it was that I spent a lot of one-on-one time with this guy. Okay, like I know friendships grow in a group also, but even for guys also, one-on-one time actually makes a lot of difference in building the friendship. Because guys in a big group, what you do, talk rubbish. Talk about stupid things. Uh, Christian guys will talk about God, maybe. The non-Christian guys talk about girls. It's very cock one, some level. Okay, and we always like, oh, don't make stupid jokes. Okay, so even my mom knows this friend, because he's one of the few friends that come to visit our house regularly, and I go visit his house because we live kind of near each other. And his name is kind of sounds like my dad's name, so my mom remember more. But she will always, even after army uni, she ask, how is this guy doing? How's this guy doing? So it's quite good. Also, I'm glad that like when I was there in that friendship, I let these guys to speak to my life okay? And also share my woes. Like it's not. I mean, maybe also cause that time no friend like not many friend not many people you can talk to. So I did that, but I'm glad that like I didn't kind of just like like some adolescents, they will just like present themselves in one way to their friends and then keep everything self in their hearts, kind of thing. I was like that to most of my friends, but not this guy. So I think that was how the friendship grew. And he also know me as me, such that when I became a Christian, right, it didn't feel like I was a different guy. It's like I was the same guy. But maybe to other friends, like, hey, what last time you so antisocial, then now you got church friend, then you so it's like social butterfly. Yeah. But this guy isn't like that. He knew who I was before. And I think I was glad that so I say even after, because I told you that when in my secondary school days I was not very popular, so I also didn't become very popular, just saying. But I was just like not very well received right? So then after I found a bunch of church friends and also Christ, then you kind of found a new confidence in God and then also recover some of your self-esteem. So last time I was like pretty sad that I was a lousy basketball player. Then the kind of like never play at all, the coach don't like me, that kind of thing. After I received Christ, I said, hey, screw it, who is the coach, man? You're not Christ, you're just a random coach. So not a lot of people like the coach, right? So I said, okay, So after that, there's a lot of self-confidence again. So after that, even after that, right, like I still kept in touch with him and the clique They will say, oh, now I have friends who I hang out with every day, then I don't care so I think there was still a connection that kept the friendship going. Okay, I want to share a quick story. So like secondary school and JC boys, right? Like you have crushes, right? So you tell your good friend your crush, hey, I like this person. They say, yeah. Then they will, a good bro will help you. They will either tell you no go or they say, okay, go. Then they will support you. So anyway, there was a no go incident and that was very sad. So I told you, wow, bro, but I think my life has lost its meaning. Then after that, I was like going doing something stupid, like those like not very smart, destructive behavior. Then he's like, no don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Then he just keep poking me, don't do it, and then keep asking me like, how am I doing after that? So, it's very sweet, I think, for a friend to do that, and a friend who don't just like, don't be stupid, next week you will come back to your senses. You next week got exam, study for exam. No, he actually did it gently, and. He's actually what I call an MCP. You know what's an MCP? Wow. Yeah, he's quite a that kind of people. So I remember like we will end up with him and his girlfriend, right? And then he's basically a very 大男人主义 kind of people, like the guy must pay the bill, he must be the breadwinner, he must earn more than that kind of people. Okay, so he's like. So one time we went out with him and his girlfriend, and then after we pay for the meal, then the girlfriend want to split, and then he said no need. Then the girlfriend insists. This went on for 5 minutes, and then he just like really shout out in the face. I think I was shocked. Until everybody in the street looked at him. It was like, what? And then the girlfriend just like don't know what to say. So so for that kind of people to do this, to really care for me in that manner, I feel like it's quite a deep. He never apply his male standards on me, I guess. Uh, okay, anyway, the things I wish I did, which is I think quite important was okay, so I mentioned in army, then you guys friendships tend to just fade away lah. Okay, so I think army was quite for me. I wasn't very sure what he was doing. So that grew the distance, and I think it was quite sad because you had a lot of something going on, and then army just okay, and then yeah, that's quite sad. Okay, so I think during uni year two, after uni year two, actually I almost like basically dropped the ball completely lah. Okay, because one thing was this CF was very busy and school was very busy, and yeah, our interests don't collide as much already. Last time got basketball ma, then we will go and play, go and do stuff together. The best thing about playing basketball with him is after that we can go eat Max, because the Max is just next to the court. So we stopped doing that, and then army and everything. So I think a large part of it also because at some point I said, yeah, I should connect with this guy, but then the distance has grown so big. It's a bit awkward, and after we meet one time, then no coordination, then even more awkward, kind of thing. So just like, yeah, never mind, just procrastinate and leave it alone. But the sad thing was that I sensed that he was jaded. I told you about his girlfriend incident, right? So this girlfriend was with him for really long, and then he broke up. So during army, I remember one day he called me. I was like, then he said, and then he told me, hey, can you do me a favor? I said, why? Then you go and tell the girl that I still love her very much. Break up already, Then just like, oh. Shut up, I was in the toilet, by the way. I was like, oh. So I have never seen him so vulnerable before, So I think after that, it does a lot of damage to him. So I feel like even in uni, the times where I still see him, he doesn't come across as lively as before. Like I know, of course, grow older, you become more calm and all this, but you definitely did something to him. So I felt like it was a bit just with life. But then because I don't know that I don't know what to do. Do you know whether I was the right person to do it, or I didn't want to be involved in such a complex matter? I don't know. But basically, through that matter, through that incident, the whole uni and army, basically, I think I lost the chance to continue to build that deep, long-lasting friendship. I mean, now we still keep in touch time to time, but it's just hard to make up for lost time. Okay, so that's what I did. Okay, do I continue or you want to? Continue or you want to? Okay, I continue. Okay, after that I'll take a break. No, she got 2 story, right? 3 story. Okay, I got 3 story, but I will take 2 story and then give you 3 story, and then I'll take 1 story and then okay. Okay. Sorry, we didn't tie down perfectly. Okay, so I'm talking about a friend from uni, CF. His name is C. Okay. If you're wondering, he also looks like this. Okay. He is a skinny man that is not very tall like my friend. Okay, my friend Z, but he's basically also this kind of shape. Okay. So I met him while serving in CF randomly. CF makes you serve in very random things. Yes, the staff worker kind of plant a trap. I turned up for an observation meeting and then turned into a com member by accident. It's not an accident. Okay, so I think he was the same case. Okay, so we both got dragged into this nonsense. Okay, so we also after that, I mean, that was in year 2 uni, and then I just like, okay, whatever. That's the end of it. I never saw him again until year 4, and then we joined the exco, and then I saw this guy again. I said, hey, I remember you. Yeah, then you remember me too. I said, okay. So just nice, our roles in exco was quite near each other, so we worked together a lot lah. Okay. One good thing was that we both of us have quite a people-oriented mindset lah. Okay, so exco, there's a lot of people who champion for causes, champion for like concepts, abstract stuff, make you read strange things, and then me and him, we are like what should we do for bonding? Right, so they almost call us the bonding bros. It was really disgusting. Somehow we also live relatively near each other lah. We are on the same downtown line together, so technically we always go home together. And therefore, because it's kind of near and his house is near a hawker center, then so it's convenient to visit him and have a nice meal. Okay, so this is my friend. I put the changku there because we basically serve together lah. We plow the land together. Okay, so that's how we connect, serve together. I think this guy is he showed me the importance of deep friendships lah. Okay, what I mean by deep friendship is just that a friendship that lasts a lifetime lah, rather than a friendship that is a season. Okay, so I think because I mentioned once that like I felt that friendships was more seasonal by nature lah. I think you understand what that means, right? Meaning at this life station, you leave most of your friends behind, maybe take one or two, and then like upgrade to the next life station, and then one or two. Okay, or some of you just don't care lah, just throw everybody and then just move on, or they just fade away lah. Okay, so it's most common. Also like I guess maybe from JC or army to uni. Okay, that there's a gap. Or then for girls maybe it's different, but basically you know what I mean. Okay, so I once told him that I think friendships are seasonal. I say no, I think friendship can be a long-lasting thing. I say really, may? Yeah. I say okay, sure. So so after that, that's that. Okay. So then came my birthday. So on a random day, he came to my house to celebrate my birthday with me with another friend. That was a surprise lah. So I was like, huh? I hate surprises. Okay, why I hate surprises? Because my old church, we had like, I once had a year where there was like 11 birthday celebrations in 3 months. 11 birthday celebrations in 3 months. So there was like 12 CG sessions in 3 months, and then 11 of it was birthday celebration. And the best thing was that every birthday celebration must be a surprise. Like, come on, man, I know it's not a surprise. Like 11 WhatsApp chat groups for 11 birthdays, for 11 surprises, does not work. So I was quite sick of surprises, but this was a genuine surprise lah, because it was not a surprise that you don't know is coming is a surprise, A surprise that you know is coming is a drama. Okay, so I was pretty surprised, and then he actually built a Paul Frank cake for me. Not Paul Frank the monkey, because I like Paul Frank things. I have a lot of Paul Frank things. And they make a Paul Frank cake, so I was like, wow. And then there came with a video clip of all the friends I have made in CF. Not all significant ones, wishing me happy birthday. I was like, wow, like I guess he wasn't all talk lah. When he talk about friendships are not seasonal. So that helped me to say that okay lah, maybe this is a guy I want to be friend with for the rest of my life, or at least I'll bring out of uni lah. Okay, so with this guy, I was able to talk vulnerably and talk seriously about everything under the sun, because he's also a Christian lah, so it's even easier to talk about the matters of faith as compared to my friend Z. Okay, and then so he also showed that, like, he also said, hey, let's go for this course, that course to prepare for like life after graduation. I said, okay, so it means he's interested to remain as friends after graduation. So I said, okay, very good. I'm gonna hang out with this guy. Okay, so he was a friend who knew me well in Christ. However, that didn't last once the realities of working life came in. He just, at the start was okay, and then he went for part-time studies, and then he disappeared. Like, just disappeared from my life, Like, okay, by the way, I joined I joined his church because I thought, okay, I'm gonna find a new place to root myself, and where better than to root yourself with your lifelong friends, right? Then that didn't turn out the way I expected. Okay, so he AFK from my life for like the duration of his studies. That was quite sad. Okay, and then one more sad thing was that one day we were having CG, and then he suddenly said, I think friends are seasonal, you just leave them behind one season and move on to the next. I was so shocked. I was like, what? I said, bro, that's what you said 2 years ago. Or how many years ago? I said, huh? No lah. I always thought like that. Oh my gosh, I was so puzzled. I was so stubborn. I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do now? Okay, so anyway, I mean, the details aside, like that really happened. So I was very, very surprised. Okay, anyway, finally his studies have ended, and I think parts of him have returned to my life. Okay, anyway, so this is a very recent event. I mean, the returning part. Okay, so things I'm glad I did. Okay, I didn't drop the baton throughout the periods of him being AFK, and I still tried to speak to his life, like, hey, bro, don't so focus on this or that. Remember you have a community, blah 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 blah. Okay. I was glad that I was very troubled by the sudden absence, but I didn't flare up. I didn't like, oi, where you go? I didn't do that. I just like, okay, but I complained. Okay, so though there's only one eye. Though I complain behind his back quite a lot lah. So his whole CG knows that I actually got damn pissed off at it, but I never ever said anything. Okay, but I didn't. Like I said, right, I was skirmish to conflict, right? I'd say that I don't like arguments. I don't like to bring up. I don't like to DTR. It's so awkward. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just glad I didn't flare up. Okay. Okay, same thing. I think I was aware of how I was affected, upset. It's not like I didn't like just like, oh, why am I angry with this guy? I don't know. Never mind, you know. Like, because if you not even know that you're upset, right, it tends to come out in like very spiteful words that you didn't expect. You know, it's like you got very sarcastic or you know the kind of thing lah. Okay, so at least I was aware, right? So at least with him, I just like try to don't say anything. So even now during the COVID, the CG, because you know you meet CG must different house there. I tell my CG, can you just don't put me in the same house with this guy? Don't see him, right? You know, kind of thing. Hey, shit, you actually know what I'm talking about. He's from my CG, so he actually knows what I'm talking about. Ayah, crap, why you come? Shit, I should have said no. Never mind, recover. But you don't go and tell anyone, okay? Don't tell anyone that I said this session. You know, I will scold you. I will scold you. Okay, so I was pretty aware of how affected and upset I was. So one thing that is that I kind of minimize contact so that I don't step the friendship without wanting to. Okay, if I want to step a friendship, I will step it intentionally, but I don't want to just by accident. Okay. I think that also affects how I ration out my efforts, right? Because you know, friendship, if one side is put a lot more effort, it tends to go quite badly, lah. You know, so it has to be kind of even. Say, hey, this guy AFK on me, is it okay? I'm a bit better. I AFK less than you. Okay, I don't disappear. I just pay in kind in a nicer way. Okay, so I think that is helpful in making the friendship last, lah. Okay, so somehow we are Christian, right? You know, we can't. We gotta be nice and we gotta be forgiving and all these things. Okay, fine. Okay, so but I did contemplate a lot on like whether I should like bring the matter up, but I think I decided not to and just observe lah. Cause I tell him, then he busy with life. Tell him, then he also don't know what to do, and then forget it lah. Anyway, his studies will end one day, or he fail or he pass, it will end lah. Okay, and then he passed. Fine. Okay, so things I wish I did. Okay, I think she should have been less bothered by it lah, because you know, like you are more patient by the fact that like maybe this is common to everybody who studies or life is so long, you know, what is 2 years, 3 years. Maybe I'll be a bit more patient, and then I will have been less affected. I don't know, but maybe I should. I wish that I could have foreseen this kind of development earlier lah. Okay, I did not know that people would disappear from someone's life when they go further studies. I think most of the time people don't at least disappear that badly, but this guy did. So I have no prior example to base this on. So I didn't foresee this, and I didn't also check that whether this person's view of friendship changed after graduation. I assume that that's what you said when you're a year 4 student doing final year project will be the same as 5 years later when you are getting destroyed by work and life. You know, I didn't think of that. Okay, so but thankfully I found out lah. At least now I know lah. You know, last time I don't know then you still think. Then we had the CG session where that came up, so that was good lah. I mean, on hindsight. I think I also wish I invested a little bit more evenly in my other friendships in uni, because if you did it, maybe you wouldn't be that angry. You know? But of course, if there's someone your best friend does it to you, then bo pian lah, you will still be hurt lah. But maybe you have other best friend candidates, and that will make things a little bit better. Okay. Yes. So that's all I have for me, I think. Thank you, Jen.
Okay.
Let me propose to you once more. Yes, actually that's the man.
Can yeah.
It's 5 meter long.
Okay, can already. Thanks. Okay, so I'll be sharing about this particular friend who I knew from JC. We went for tuition together and we had a lot of like fun. So like doing tuition, then never study, then just talk and do nonsense. And I think that's was what we bonded over the most when we went JC. We were still friends in university, I think like the first few years. And then once she went on exchange, like we kind of lost contact. Then I think it was pretty recent, 2019, right before COVID, my church was having this like gigantic Christmas event. And she was like doing the media for it or something like that. And she's not at my church. Then we bumped into each other and then we reconnected. I think for this particular friend, I always knew that she had a lot of struggles and issues, but she never really shared with me because our tuition and our friend dynamic back then was always about like fun and talking nonsense and basically bonding over the fact that we're not studying together. Yeah. So we reconnected alongside with this other friend. And I think over the recent years, I can see her opening up to me a lot more. And that was something that I was truly appreciative of as well. I mean, so this particular friendship, it was easy to reconnect again. Even though it was a friend of a particular season in JC, the fact that we had the existing friendship or that like foundation, it was very easy to touch base again. And this was an opportunity which I really like didn't anticipate. Like, it wasn't something that I was intentionally trying to reach out to this person or anything like that. Yeah. Maybe a bit more background around this particular friend that I have. She does struggle a lot with her faith. She does struggle a lot with breaking down certain preconceived ideas that she already has about God. And she was sharing that with me, and she also struggles with a lot of other things lah. She does have some like mental health issues, and recently she sort of like offloaded all of her things to me. Yeah, and that was when I saw a shift in our friendship. It didn't really become like friend to friend. It also became like a friend to like, what do you say? Dependent, yeah, to a certain degree. It also became like, for me, it was like friend and ministry to a certain degree. Yeah, and that was something that I felt was very difficult to navigate because like, yeah, where's the friend part in this one, I think now lah. Yeah, and a lot of it was, it also transitioned to varying degrees of like intensity as well, because I think it became quite reliant on, when things get bad, then she's gonna turn to me. And I had to be very conscious about like what were my boundaries and what I was comfortable with in terms of like being there, or like whether I'm able to react in a correct manner for her. Yeah. I think previously, if this had happened to me when I was younger, or like in JC or uni, I think I would have like cut it off like quite easily. Because it's too much, you know what I mean? I don't have the capacity to do it. I don't know how to respond correctly. Whereas now I feel like friends in general are hard to make when you graduate lah. Yeah. The people that you meet in this season of life will play a specific role, like whether it's your colleague, whether it is your like network or something like that, or like even an acquaintance. Unless you have like a really strong connection where like you're like, wow, the chemistry really there, and then like you can like bring that person up to speed immediately. Those are very rare and those are very difficult to find. So to find someone that like you can connect to a certain degree and to have a certain base of trust is very, very rare lah. Yeah, so I do see why I have been placed in this particular situation, and even though I still find it difficult to like help her understand, because a lot of things are like cyclical in her brain. So like they're like reinforcing one another, and it's hard to help her understand or realize or to break those preconceived ideas of like God, of me, of like her worldview lah. Yeah. So a lot of the time, the role that I play in this particular friendship is really just a listening ear, not even to speak into her life yet, because I don't think she's like ready for that in this particular juncture. But a lot of it is also just like really praying for this particular friendship, yeah, and for this particular friend in particular, yeah. This season, unlike what seasons we used to have in JC, does not have a definitive timeline. It's not like once I leave my job, this friendship is done. You know what I mean? It's no longer like, okay, once I graduate, this season is passed And it's a conscious choice that I'm making. So it's also something that I have to realize on my own. But I think realizing in this particular friendship that of how helpless I am, honestly, of how I'm unable to do a lot of things, has allowed me to turn to God a lot more. Yeah. And to really try and surrender this person to God lah. Yeah, and for him to do his work lah. Because yeah, and I do feel to a certain degree like very drained because yeah, like this is like ministry already, you know what I mean? And but it's something that I feel like it's worth persisting and persevering on. I think this is a verse that I felt encapsulated it quite well. Like, do not forsake your friend or family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes you, but better be a neighbor nearby than a relative far away. And I hope that I can play that function now. Yeah. On the contrary, I also want to talk about friends that go through the seasons. So as I mentioned, that was like be more like ministry. This particular friendship that I'm about to share is more life-giving. This is one of my friends who I have been friends with since like I was 10. We were very close like all the way. We're very fortunate. We were in the same secondary school, in the same JC, we were in the same uni, like a bit gross lah. And then we go CF together, we like go tuition together, we join same CCA together, then like, yeah lah, everything together lah. Then we also found out that like our parents are friends, so like we come like everywhere lah. Okay, but this is very rare and like super ridiculous. And I don't think it's like not common lah. No lah. Like we found out like while we were friends when we were primary 4 that our parents also knew each other from like church last time, which was quite like cool. Anyway, yeah. Similarly, so she also knows like everything about me. Like we honestly have like great time together all the time. And then I think something that I really appreciate about this friendship, especially when we graduated, was that we both took very intentional efforts to like continue meeting. Also a bit weird, I guess. Like we used to have like a day where we will meet, that kind of thing. And then of course with like work and all that kind of nonsense, like it has become like a fortnightly thing lah. But it's still like a set aside time where we will meet together. Okay, very regular, but it's something okay, because we used to go tuition together, so we used to meet like once a week. Then later when we went to uni, we also like will have a day. Okay, okay, whatever. Anyway, we have high regularities. Okay. But I think when we graduated and we started working, I think when you enter into adulthood, and with this whole entire program anyway, we already know that there are going to be more things that will hit us lah. And I don't think we necessarily become more complicated, but we may face more complicated issues. I guess it challenges each of us a lot more lah. And I think for the both of us, like at first our issues usually revolved around like family, friends, like lame things. But then now it becomes very it affects so many other aspects of your life, right? On the issues that you face, and a lot of it can be external or internal now. Yeah. And I think something that both of us tried to do a lot more intentionally was to increase our level of accountability, which I think is something that is very hard to do and not often talked about, of what accountability really looks like. I think we often think about accountability to like our Christian communities, but even then, there's only a certain extent of how much this person can be accountable to you without knowing your true context or why you're really struggling with this thing. So for me, like whenever I choose to be like accountable to anyone, I choose to be accountable to her because yeah, like she really knows like my thought process and like what I'm struggling with, and she also knows like when I will falter. Yeah, and having to do that was something that took a lot more. I had to take a step yeah, to really turn to her when times are like difficult, and not just like say during like small group or during like church, that kind of thing, where like on that particular day of the week, I'm supposed to tell you how my week was going to be, and this was what I struggled with, and then it's all in like retrospect, or like it's all like when things are like over, then I update you. Yeah. So yeah, and for the fact that I know that she'll be there to like pray for me pray alongside me, is something that I really feel has strengthened our friendship. I don't know where I want to bring this. There's this like, what's it called? Tuscan model or something. Do you guys know this? Like like form, storm, norm, perform.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Storming,
Yeah. So
performing or something.
yeah. And it's like a curve thing. Yeah. And each stage is supposed to help you progress your relationship. And you can also like fall back into each one, right? So obviously the form is like when you're getting acquainted with someone, storm is when you are like in conflict, norm is when you get comfortable, and then perform is when you're like steady already, yeah. And I think this friendship, I've actually managed to like go through all 4 stages. And even though maybe it was like, okay, maybe it was from form to norm first, like it became like stagnant and comfortable, but then we still went back to storm, and that strengthened the friendship. And that also like laid more grounds for us to have more opportunities to talk about difficult topics together. Yeah. And yeah, no, this is one friendship that I know that will continue for life lah. Pretty sure it'll be for life already lah. From 10 years old. I think quite life. I think quite formalized. Yeah. So this is one of the verses that I feel like was quite interesting. Yeah. To really be devoted to one another in brotherly love, and to give one another in honor, and not lagging behind in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, persevering in tribulation, devoted to prayer, contributing to the needs of the saints, practicing hospitality. And yeah, it is my hope that this friendship can also do that. Yeah, and continue to do that too. Yeah. Another verse. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know it. You know it. Yeah. Okay. You want me to do that discussion? You do. Yeah, first. Okay.
We get it. Okay, so that's a lot of stories, right? But I hope you all like it. It's just genuine parts of our lives that you will hear. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about this thing called discarded friendships. Okay, we won't talk very much about it, just because it's almost intuitive and natural to discard some of these friendships. Okay, I use the word discard is a very neutral term. Okay, it's not like, oh now you're like throwing trash.
Put the trash in
It's just the container. It's just storage. Okay, we are using it in a kind of tongue-in-cheek way, okay. When we say discarded, okay lah. Let's okay lah. I will remove the PC version, okay. Discarded friendships don't want to have anymore, okay. Okay, there's a friendships that drift away. Okay, you lose your slipper in the sea, it goes away. It's not your fault. Okay, it is, but never mind. Okay, it's the sea's fault. Okay, not your fault. But there are things that you take and throw into the sea, and then you're a terrible person. Okay, don't go to the sea. But these are the friendships you just don't want to have anymore, okay. For whatever reason, okay. Sometimes it's due to incidents. Sometimes it's due to something stupid. Sometimes it's due to the effect it has on your life. Okay. So some things can be trivial. Some things can be major, okay. So very quickly, one of my story was this. I had a friend whom I asked to do a book review on, because I was working, okay, in a publishing firm. Okay, can you help me do this book review? He said, okay, I give you a free book. And I also think that this book will be meaningful to you. That's why I asked you to help me do. He said, okay, can. So some time later, the book review came. Okay, it was basically not very nice. I'm selling this book, right? Sure, I can write honest feedback, but I can't have terrible feedback. Okay, anyway, I don't think it was that terrible. Okay, so I say, since you have given me the one that is to be published publicly, what are your personal thoughts? Like, it's different, right? What you write kind of for public realm, and like your own personal reflection is different. Although they can be similar, but they also tend to have some components that you just leave out. So she said, I write already what? Just like, oh, okay, cool. Then she said, I don't understand why certain part of the book are this way. Then me, who was part of the project, understood, then I explained. Oh, because we want to also do this. See, but not very relevant for people like me. I say, okay, yeah, for you, but the parts of the book that are relevant to you, then the parts that are not relevant to you, then is maybe more for certain kind of people. Then why don't you ask those people to review the book instead. Then just like, why so angry? And then, okay, anyway, I say no lah, blah blah blah. Okay. So after that, I was like, okay, whatever. Then life goes on. So time to time, I still ask her, how are you and all this. Wow, she just don't want to reply at whatsoever. Blue tick all the way already. Like a few times. I think like 4-5 times. Then I get it. I say, okay, you don't want to friend anymore. Okay, I get it. It's like, why? Right? Then we are quite good friends, you know. I sold her for my guitar for really cheap too. So it was quite sad. Anyway, yeah, we had quite a good friendship in uni. So this happened, and I was like, this is stupid, lah, you know. But things happen. Okay, then here's another. Are you gonna do that? Okay, then another quite a strange story also.
Okay, so yeah, my workplace had a job opening, my uni friend as well. And my workplace had a job opening and he wanted to change job during this period of time. And then so he asked me, oh, your company's hiring, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh yeah, I can tell my boss lah, you know what I mean? This person, I can recommend you as a potential employee. So he went for the interview, and then eventually my boss like didn't decide to hire him lah. Okay. And then they took a while to get back to him on like the answer of the outcome of his job application. And then in the middle, in the midst of like waiting, he kept like bugging me and he was like, did I not get a job? Did I get a job or not? Kind of thing. And then I was like, I told him like, oh, I don't know, the kind of thing. Like I tried to keep it open because I felt like it wasn't my place to say, you know what I mean? Like just hear from HR. Like, why must I tell you? Then he got increasingly persistent of like why then he kept asking like everyone, like the other people who apply, he kept asking, like he called like my HR, he called my everyone. And because they were still, I think, wanting to craft out like a formal response to respond back to him. And then there was this one day where like he basically found out before my workplace had given him the formal response that he didn't get the job. And he got super angry with me. And he was like, why didn't you tell me that like I didn't get a job? Like, why did you tell me that you didn't know when you knew? That kind of thing. Like, oh, you lied to me, all those kind of things. And I was like, whoa, where's this coming from? And then he was saying like how, oh, but I told him like my point of view, like I don't think this is my place. Like if anything, you should hear from my HR, you should hear from my boss. Like this is work, right? And why do you expect me to give you this like insider information? Like my part, in my opinion, was that I recommended you for the job, and that was the extent of what I could do, lah. Yeah, but then he said, "Oh, but we are like friends. You mean you think you place HR over our friendship?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." I mean, like I was very confused by how like he really thought that our friendship should trump like everything else. Yeah, and I think that was something that I really felt was like, yeah, this is really like overstepping like my boundary of like what I personally feel is like professional and what I personally feel is like the extent of what friends can do in this kind of realm. Yeah, anyway, he like raged at me and then I was like, all right, whatever. And then yeah, I just like discarded it. Okay, but to me, it's not like definitive. You know what I mean? Like it's just like an unpleasant, it's an unpleasant experience. Like a bit smelly, lah. You know what I mean? The trash. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. But then like can come back again like if he wants to. But yeah, like he never like apologized or addressed the situation at all. I think he still thinks he's right, which is fine by me. But yeah, like this was just something that I felt was like overstepping the line and also pushing a boundary that I'm not comfortable with. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you know, strange things happen with your friendships once you start working. Okay, okay. There's I mean, for a slightly more serious note, like I think just now Jen mentioned her friend, you know, like the one with whom she kind of have to minister to. Actually, I have a friend like that also, like in similar context. In like around like my friend from like a church quite for many years already, but like reconnected in after work also. But then similar things happened to her. Her mom passed away, and her dad had an affair and all these things. So it was quite heavy. And at the time I was also coping with stuff in my life. So I was not in the best place to minister also. So when she told me all this, I'm like, okay, I do my best, right, as a friend. But after a while, she became more and more needy. I didn't know what to do. At some point, I remember there was an incident. She said, "Hey, let's go and celebrate your birthday," as if my birthday. She said, "Let's go and celebrate Sean's birthday." Then I said, "Okay." Then because she's kind of moody and it was a birthday and he didn't want to celebrate my birthday in a moody way. So I said, "How about we ask like another common friend from long, long time ago that we didn't meet up?" Then she's like, I said, "Then more people, more fun, right?" And then she interpreted it as like, "So you saying I'm not fun, is it?" I was like, "Oh," I said, "No, no, that's not what I meant." Then I tried to explain. And then she just like got upset. And at some point I also got upset. She said, I don't like I think the fact that she's so reactive and so needy made it hard for me to keep out the friendship. So while I wanted to be a blessing to her life, I couldn't in that season. So I also explained to her that like you cannot anyhow jump to conclusion blah blah blah. And then she just blue tick me. And to this day, I also never respond back. So you don't want to open up. I already tell you my thought, you also don't care. It's okay, lor. Right. So it's a friendship that like I intentionally discard lah, okay, but it's not in the like the wow, what is this? It's not like that, okay. It's the kind of like I need to do some house cleaning at the Chinese New Year, and I look at this thing. I know there's a lot of value in this, but my house has no more space. I'm sorry. I put it in the trash. Okay. It's like that, okay. So it's like, well, I treasure it. That's what I can do in my life then. Okay. So there are friends that you may encounter in your journey that like even if you want to end it, you have to end it well. Don't just do it in a way that you will regret. Okay, so for at least for that friendship, I felt that I made the right choice given this context. Okay, and it wasn't harsh. I was just telling her what I think. Okay, so anyway, moving forward, now that we are, I think we worked 4-5 years, not six, 4 years plus. You kind of have an idea of what you want your life to look like, what you want, the kind of relationships and friends you want to have in life. Okay, so I think now is a good time to think about the lifelong friendships, rather than just kind of like, oh, see you maybe 10 years later, I don't care about you. Like you rooted in your church, you in your young adult ministry, you kind of want to keep these people in your life. Okay, so my brother, every week, right? He got 3 nights that he will go to somebody else places for dinner. My brother is older and he has 4 kids. So he will go to my house, his wife's parents' house, and then a friend's house. And this friend, he will go every week. Every week, you bring your whole family to go your friend's house and their family, and then let all the kids mingle and spread COVID. Okay, and just have fun. So every night, can you imagine having this weekly commitment to a friend, a family friend, right? So this is what I mean by a friends for life. Okay, if you can do that, means I guess this is an important guy in your life. Okay. So at least this is my own thoughts for me, right? Now that I'm reaching 30 years old, I have give this a little bit more serious thought. What I want in my life is, firstly, I want friends who do not treat me like second-class citizen, okay, and then being able to be prioritized when I really needed that attention, That's why I was very upset when my friend AFK on me, okay, but it's okay. I'm a second-class citizen because I'm a PI anyway. Okay, I also want friends who wants to be involved, who wants me to be part of their life, okay. So it's some friends you just like, have fun, go out, eat dinner, catch up. Okay, after that, see you next year. It's like the Chinese New Year relative, I don't really want that. I want people who invite me to their house often, or say, hey, can you come and do this with me? Hey, then Sean, let's go and ride bicycle together. I hate bicycling, but at least they ask. Or like, Sean, you want to play Mobile Legends together? Sure. Okay, I think also who take the initiative to dig me out of my shell. I think we all have this shell mode, whatever you call it. Just I'm so tired of life, man. I'm so done. Or I'm dealing with this. I don't want to be touched, These friends who notice that and then ask you, like, hey, how are you doing? You want to meet up? Like the church staff who ask you, why you never come for service? Like, okay, not in that neggy way, but friend, they just ask, even like just now I was sitting here, my CG people ask me, hey, you have your this session today, right? All the best. May God be with you. Like, shocks, yeah. Okay. And if that's what I want in life, then the kind of people that can provide that, like I also become more alert to Okay. First is people who, like me, are a little bit more fun-loving and they are experiential people. They are not in the books, although I love books people. They're open-minded about new perspectives and things. Okay. So Cause I'm a crazy guy, to be lifelong friend with a crazy guy is actually another crazy guy lah. So actually I found some, and it's nice. A few crazy people together is really fun. Okay, I think also think I have a good grasp of work-life family balance. Okay, because you can imagine some people, once they have their kids lah, they have their own things to worry about. Then you just become a guest in their house. You're not a friend, So I think if you want to befriend somebody, they must have space for you and they will be there for you. Then they must have a good balance of their work, their lifestyle in life, and also their family things in the future. Okay, also people will like people lah. Okay, this is pretty important to me because like I said, I'm a curious and I think people are interesting and colorful. And lastly, because you are Christians, you also in building lifelong friends, you also must have some Christian lifelong friends now. Okay, so I do not want to listen to my friend to tell me about God, and then I wonder in my head, this fella know what I'm talking about. No? I don't want lah. If my friend, someone I trust I need counsel. I just go to, hey, what you think? What they say, I don't need to go and cross check the Bible. Go say or not. Wow, this guy know what I'm talking about. I don't need to do that. So to me, that's pretty important. So I have this thing called lifelong friends candidate list. Not a list lah, it's a numbers on my fingers. Okay, so one of it is these two human beings called C and J. Okay, it's a couple. Okay. So they are as a couple, right? One is very quiet and one is very crazy. So they share my crazy wild side and also the more affectionate relational perspective of life lah. So together they are a great duo. Okay, and when I look at them and think of them, it makes me want to grow in God lah. Because sometimes we want to grow in God at our age. Growing in God is not the most exciting thing on earth lah. Maybe growing your career, growing your family life, growing your money, a little bit more interesting. Growing in God is like, yeah, you happen along the way. Sometimes you may feel like that. But when I look at these people, it makes me feel like, hey, they are doing their best for God. I also want to do that. Okay. And they are the people who, the Hebrews say the cloud of witnesses, this term. And I was like, one day I was thinking, who do I want to be the cloud of witnesses when I reach the finishing line, right? I want these two people there. Like I want them to, like your graduation, who do you want to watch you graduate? Important people in your life. Okay, so to me, it's the same when I finish graduation. Hey, please be there to shake my hand, give me some Pocari sweat and feed me bananas and bring me go dinner after that. Okay, so one of the cool things that they did was that I was thinking of moving out like late last year, and then I was like, yeah, go where? Because very expensive ma. So actually when I told them about it, they said, hey, you can't stay with us lah. Because they're also renting their place with like some other people. And then one of them was moving out, then got opening. They said, hey, come and live with us, I mean, that's not a statement that to be taken lightly lah. Like wish or your friend. I'm sure you can imagine friends who you definitely don't want to live with. Right? And there are some friends you're like, maybe. And then there are some friends who are, oh, please, this one stay with me. Every day I'm happy. Usually they are good cooks or they will do housework for you. No lah. Okay, but besides that, it's like they're so welcoming, that their gesture is like, I told them, hey, I have this issue, and they just, hey, then you just come and stay with us. So to me, they say, hey, please be part of our lives lah. That's what it means, right? Anyway, they don't earn money from me lah, because they're also renting, right? So that's a okay. The other lifelong friend candidate who is also a couple, okay, is M&S. Okay, so when during my CGLs actually, okay, so during CB, because my house was super crowded with my family coming back from overseas to stay, I told them, then they also did the same. They said, come and stay with us. Okay, so I did, and it was super fun. Okay, it was super fun. I don't know how to tell you, super fun. Okay, so recently they have they're expecting lah. Okay, they're gonna have a kid soon. So when they first broke the news about them being pregnant, and then after a while they say, this is what we think we want the name of the baby to be. Then I say, yeah, I thought about it. Then I say, on the same place, I say, can I give the first naughty nickname to your kid? Then they just laugh. Then I say, what? Okay, I don't tell you the actual name, but the nickname was Omu rice. The omelette rice. Because the actual name sounds a bit like that. So I kind of make fun of them. And they just laugh. Okay, so now whenever I see them, then I will see my friend, the mom, say, how is Omu? I will say hi to the baby first, then I say hi to her. And then they just say, okay, that's all. Even they accepted it. And I think when if someone gives a naughty nickname to your first kid and you accept it, it means a lot lah to the fact they say, okay lah, your way lah. Okay, rather than you're so ugly, no, she has a name, don't give us stupid names. Right. So I think that also shows that they want me to be part of their life. Yeah. And also I see their parents time to time lah, at church and all this. Okay, so with that, oh, okay, this is not important. So I think we have shared a lot about our friendships. We also about our responses, about our thoughts, about our actions and all this. But I think the question that I want us to think also about is like, what kind of friend do you want to be to your friends, lah? Right? Because it's easy to say, well, my friend don't understand, my friend AFK, my friend stupid, my friend whatever, man. But what about us, lah? Like, how are you a blessing to your friend? How are you a voice of comfort, a voice of God, a voice of reason, a voice of encouragement to your friends? Or are you just like mean, or are you the one who is absent actually, right? So for me, the answer I have is this. I want to be an overnight friend, okay, not the friend with benefits kind, but a friend who like say, hey Sean, I have an issue. Can I come and find you middle of the night? Okay, come. Like oh, I had no place to stay. Can I come and just bunker down for a period of time? Like, okay, sure. Right. Or I just I need to call you and talk 3 hours. Okay. Okay, sure. Also want to be someone who can a friend who is a playmate lah. So means like we can play lah. Like hey, we want to go cycling. Let's go. Actually no. Let's go swimming. Oh no, can you do Mobile Legends? You can. Someone who is a friend who you may not share a lot of things with me, but I still can like hang out with you. Also to be a resource to someone. If you need some connections, you need some ideas, you need some recommendations. Sure, I can do that for you. I also want to be the Christian who is telling you, hey, you got to do your QT or not? You never. I also. Okay, no. The guy who met you go to church. Do you still worship God? Do you still tithe? Do you still bother? I also got parents of my friends' kids lah. Okay, I think this is. I won't be all these things to all friends, but I want to be these things to all my friends. Like some might like that, some might like that. But at the end of the day, I'm a friend who is a blessing in your life than not. Okay. So with that, I think that's all we have. These are we're gonna do discussions now, and then we will have a short Q&A after lah.